Okay, guys. So again, welcome. Again, welcome to our Tech Writers webinar, ChatGPT and Tech Writers. So before we start, we have exciting things for all of you here. And before we start, let me tell you something about Tech Writers Tribe. So as I said that we have lots of exciting things lined up just for you. We have our session one, uh, uh, by Ruby Goyal. The next session would be from Anandita Basu, then Ravi Teja, Tripti Arvind, and Puneet Srivastava. Uh, Once they have their presentation, you can ask them a couple of questions, and then we have a group discussion where others can also participate, give answers, and it will be kind of group discussion. Let's talk about Chat GPT. Okay, so this will be the agenda for today, and I want to tell you something about Tech Writers Tribe first. So we started with only 8 people in our first webinar, and that was on March 28, 2020. So till now, we have approximately 144 weeks completed, and we started with just 8 people, as I said, and now our network is around 13,000 plus. Okay, so what do we do? We Our motto is care, share, and prepare. So virtual learning. We conduct weekly learnings, weekly sessions, webinars, workshops. We create. We have sorry. We conduct certificate courses, corporate trainings, and networking. So we have created a platform where all tech writers can come together, ask questions, doubts, see what others are doing in their organizations, see how you can troubleshoot things at your end, ask others, experience everything. So our activities, as I said, involve knowledge sharing sessions with weekend meetups, webinars, workshops just like these, panel discussions. We have mentor mentee programs and discussions in networking groups. Every weekend, we post a question which is like a very a troubleshooting kind of questions where we expect people to come forward and answer them uh, with their experience and not just posting links, because everyone has tried that. Going through Google and posting links is not really very helpful. That's why we conduct these weekend chit chats. We create awareness, we reach out to shape a life. Okay, so we want we want tech writers to be tech writing to be an organized sector, and that's how we came up with this idea of tech writers trend. With just the 22 ending, we also conducted offline conferences in Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Pune, NCR, Chennai. And we are looking forward for some very good offline conferences in this year as well. So still Gujarat, Kerala, and all are remaining, and we have that in our agenda as well. Our network, as I said, that you all can be connected, we all can be connected on WhatsApp groups. We have city or region based Telegram groups as well. We have global groups in which there's one technical writer TWT Telegram group where it's not region or city based. Then we have course based groups also. So probably UX writing, content writing, or API documentation, technical writing, fundamental course, and MATCAP Flair course. So particularly you can join any of these WhatsApp or Telegram groups. These are our footprints. So now, since this is an old PPT, you can just see some cities over here, but now we are almost connected with every city, tech writers of every city. Internationally, some or the other way, these people, tech writers from these countries have also been associated with us, whether it may be tech writing courses or webinars or any workshops. So we are glad that people all over the world now, tech writers all over the world are coming on a single platform. Now, everything what we want to do or we are doing for the community is cannot be done alone. So this cannot be achieved. This couldn't have been achieved if it hadn't been for our volunteers. So Team Bengaluru, we have Team Chennai. These are our volunteers who work relentlessly with their jobs, with their family, like after their family and their job, they are also doing this. Team Hyderabad, Team Kerala, Team Kolkata, Team Mumbai, Team Pune, Team Delhi, and this, as I said, that this, thank you everyone, thank you all the volunteers for joining. They just do this selflessly, and they are just here to work for the community. Okay, so without further ado, now time to get to the to our session. So our uh, first speaker here is Ruby Goyal. I welcome you, Ruby. With more than 5 years of experience as a technical writer and content marketer, she knows her way around technology and marketing strategies. Currently working with Aspire Infolabs, she has worked with organizations like MB Software and SAP. She helps brands build strong and effective content that generates value for both their audience as well as their organization. And today she is going to talk about, is ChatGPT a boon or bane for technical writers? So over to you, Ruby. You can start sharing your screen. Ruby, yeah.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen. Just give me a
Yes,
second.
I will stop sharing. You are on mute, Ruby.
Sorry. So, hello everyone. I'll just start with a quick introduction of mine. So, my name is Ruby, and I currently work as a assistant manager marketing at Aspire Labs, which is a global IT solutions provider. And like for the past 4 years, I've been into technical writing, and like I have been playing around with AI tools for quite a long time now, before even the introduction of, Chat GPT. So just to give you a brief background with how these AI tools started. So you may have heard of tools, for example, content rephraser tools, or tools that can, you know, just give you an outline of articles and thing like that. There have been many tools, for example, write sonnet, content rightly, and all those tools which can help you write an article, give create a landing page, help you write a documentation, and so on and so on. But these tools are always paid. You have to buy credits for those tools and everything, and so they were not quite popular, or not used by everybody. But the introduction of Chat GPT changed everything. It's a free tool, anybody can use it. There is no capping or limitations on how many times you can ask this AI bot questions, or get responses. So this has transformed, changed everything. So because we'll start with, like, what is Chat GPT. So Chat GPT is basically a tool. It's an open based on open AI, and it has indexed all the content from the Google. Till 2021, so it has all the data which from Google till 2021, and it has indexed it, and on the basis of that it gives you responses. So for example, if I start with if I need some blog topics on cybersecurity, so here it has given me a lot of topics. So initially, if I have to go and search about cybersecurity topics or what to write on cybersecurity, I would have to go to Google, visit each and every blog and everything. But now I just have to type suggest blog topics on cybersecurity, and it has given me these 10 responses. So it's very fast. Within seconds, you get responses. It's free to use. It can be used by anybody all over the world. There is no capping. So these are fee. Many advantages of chat gpt. Also, along with it, it's a conversational tool. You don't have to go to a website, type in, think about what to type, then you have to search from 10 uh,
Ruby, you have gone on mute.
yes, sorry, there was some disturbance from my side. So yes, so you don't have to filter out from those researches and get those results. You can just simply type in and you'll get the response. Similarly, for example, it works with different languages as well. So I just said translate good morning in Japanese, and it has given me the response. Similarly, when I search for generate topics for cybersecurity in German language, it has given me that as well. So it is language friendly as well. So it's not limited to one particular language, that for English only. So you can search for multiple languages. You can ask the bot any number of questions in any language. So that is also one of the biggest advantages of chat gpt. And many AI tools which I was talking about earlier, they were language supportive in a very few languages, for example English, that only. Now one of the main advantage of chat gpt, is also that if you want to understand something, if you are not familiar with a technical term or a concept, and if you want to understand it, you'll get a response that is very very in a very simple terms. It will go through all the definitions of data integration it has, and will create an unbiased response basis on that. So for example, here I have typed define data integration, and it has given me responses like data integration refers to the process of combining data from multiple sources, and so on and so forth. So it's very easy for me to understand a technical term or a concept using chat gpt. Further on, majority of our time for technical writers or for any writer goes into creating an outline for a document. So what if something can give you an outline in a few seconds? So this chat gpt can give you, for example, I have written create an outline for Kubernetes migration document. Okay, so it has given me a very elaborative, outline based on that. For example, introduction, explanation of Kubernetes and its benefits, purpose of the document, planning, assessing, setting my in the plan. Then the next stage is usually planning. Then in planning, which points to cover. Similarly, for preparation, which points to cover. Uh, in migration, which points to cover, post migration conclusion. So This is something which I found very useful in my day-to-day work also, because creating an outline for any article or for a document takes a lot of time, and it can get created. At least you'd get the base for creating an outline through ChatGPT. And another one of the biggest advantages of ChatGPT is that you can rephrase content. So sometimes what happens is, in technical documents or in any kind of uh, article we are writing, we may need to rephrase something. We may need to set a particular tone for a complete document or an article. So chat gpt can help with that as well. For example, here I have written rephrase, and I have just put on copy pasted some text and put it in inverted commas. So it has given me a response under this. So you can rephrase content, you can generate outlines, you can do multiple things with ChatGPT in within seconds. Another thing is, so it's not related to technical writing per se, but for example, I have write an email to my boss regarding leave application as my mother is ill. So it has written a complete email for me. So I just have to now, I don't have to search on internet for, leave templates, and then get the best, go through hundreds of templates, read them, and then finalize one, and then I just got this response, and an entire response. It doesn't have any grammatical mistakes. It's written perfectly, and I can use it. So in your daily day-to-day task, where you have to write so many emails, it can come very handy. It can also come very handy if you want to write sales copy, or you want to create brochures or flyers or landing pages or something like that. It can come handy there as well. So, for example, I've written write sales copy for SEO migration services. So it has given me the entire sales copy for that as well. As you can see. So this has taken a lot of time for me to write. So I would not say that this is, perfect from my company's point of view. So this is a very generic answer. But yes, it has given me a very good starting point for me to, get on started with an email, and just, push my USPs into it, make a little bit changes, and I'm done with it. So it saves you a lot of time in terms of research, uh, things like that. There are so many things that you can do with ChatGPT. These are a few examples, only a few examples that I've shared with you, and you can do a lot more. You can write emails, you can write landing pages, you can write complete documents, you can write articles, and so on so forth. The chance is, the clearer your instructions are, the better its responses are. So that's a whole point. Uh, Again, there are some limitations of chat gpt as well. So the main okay, and one of the main advantages of you can also search for books also on chat gpt. If I say, give me like books for technical writing. Sorry, there's, I think, some problem that is occurring. Okay, no problem. Okay, so you can also go through a lot of books through chat gpt. where you can search regarding books. You can go get phrases from books. You can get summary of books. So that is also one of the biggest advantages of chat gpt. So when we come to limitations, so one of the biggest limitations of chat gpt is that it has limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So if you are searching for anything that is very latest, that happened in 2022, or that is going to happen in future, so it won't have any knowledge regarding that. And it may also sometimes produce biased content based on, because it doesn't have any information of its own. It's everything has been indexed from google, and on google also everything is being written by humans only. So sometimes the information can be incorrect and biased, and it has limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So if you are working on some introducing technology that has not been there yet, if you are working on feature of a product that has not been there yet, so you can't get help regarding that from chat gpt. So these are a few disadvantages of chat gpt. uh, along with that uh, along with that when we come to the last point of our presentation, that is ChatGPT going to replace technical writers, or is it a boon or bane for writers? So I would say it's a very very good tool for writers. It saves their lot of time. Uh, but yes, you can't write proper technical documents or proper documents from chat gpt. It gives you a base point for all your articles, but for your documents, but you cannot rely on that. You cannot rely on every information that it gives. So I would say yes, it is helpful for everyone, not only writers. It's a tool for everyone. But yes, it cannot replace a technical writer or any uh, uh, technical writer per se, because you would need people who know about things that you are going to introduce in future. You will need technical verification of anything you get through responses on chat gpt. So this is all from my side. If you have any questions, I can take those up.
Great. Thank you so much, Ruby. And we are open for a couple of questions because we have a lot of time for questioning and answering. So I'll take a couple of questions here. So Shweta asks, is post 2021 data also getting indexed in the database, or has it stopped at 2021?
So they are constantly working on it. Initially, there was cap on getting responses as well. So it's continuously evolving. It's working on updating its data. But yes, it will take some time. It's also working on introducing a pro version of it, a paid subscription model as well. So the updates will come surely in future. So it's not that it's has been like it's for 2021 only. They are working on continuously updating it.
Great. Thank you. Sabrinathan has also answered this. So thank you, Sabrinathan, for answering in the chat. Can we also do keywords research for blogs? That's the next question from Preeti.
Yes, you can do that as well on ChatGPT. So you can do anything. You can do, so there is no, I would say there is no limitations here. So you can do a lot of things. You can even, so I have just shown you an example of Word documents here, right? You can do Excel there. If you want, you can get a business outline on chat gpt. You say, I want to open a flower shop, and just give me an outline. So it will give you a business outline for that. You want that, please give me format for creating excel sheet uh for my sales in quarter one, or flower shop or something like that. So it will give you that as well. So it works very well with Excel documents and other forms of documents as well.
Great.
So,
Thank you for.
I have a
So,
question.
yeah.
So, any idea about how it stores the information that we type in? Obviously, it will take in our query, and then it is going to, use the code and give an output to you. So these things are
Yes.
also recorded, right?
Yes. So,
Obviously. Now,
as I'll just show you my screen and you can see. So earlier this feature was not there, but now you can see that, my chats have been stored here. Okay. So,
yeah.
so whatever you are typing in, it will, pick some few word, initial words and it will store it. You can delete using these clear conversations here. So it will store those conversations for you as well, so that you can go to them.
The reason behind this question is I recently met one of the developers from my office
Okay.
on obviously a knowledge transfer session. So he said, Deepa, you know what, with Chat GPT coming in, your whole community is going to get affected. How come you guys are not worried about it? I said, what will change if I worry? Right? We are generally
Right.
writers who will try to make the best use of whatever is available. Now he says,
Right.
what if you all get thrown out of the job as a
No,
community? There
it's
are thousands of
not
writers.
possible. It's not even a probability, I would say, because so I've been using it for quite a long time, and as I said, that I've used AI tools for quite a long time. So I would say, if someone wants to have a low quality document, okay, a low quality document, a low quality article, something that has not been researched by or written by a human, then they can do that. They don't need Chat GPT. There are many
Which is
tools
what,
available.
see,
So
which is what most companies do. That's what I'm trying to say. See, which is why,
these
yeah,
things are done by these things are done by companies, I would say, who, very small companies that don't have budget to hire writers, I would say that. But if a company is releasing product, if they have budget and they don't want to compromise on quality, so they won't rely on this tool.
yeah,
So this
correct. So
is
what I'm trying to say is, I work for one of the top e-commerce companies. Okay, now
yes.
their argument is, our business is e-commerce, right? And you're doing a good job of, keep so whatever task is given, they're able to do. We don't have a writer team, and it's very surprising we don't have writers there. Now, companies like Dell and Oracle and Adobe and all of them are core documenters. They have like quite a few. You have a documentation team, a manager, the hierarchy, and all
Mhm.
that going on. But there are a lot of companies running with, just one writer team.
Hello.
We can't. We've lost you, Deepa. Okay. In the interest of time, can we take this? This is a big discussion whether we'll be there in the business, we'll not be there in the business. There's, quite we have that
Yeah,
fear. Most of us have that fear. Most of us have all that apprehensions. Why don't we reserve all these questions? We have a lot of other participants also who would like to say, because I can see it in their chat that they are coming up and they might have the same questions or they have counter answers for this. So I'll, in the interest of time, Ruby, we'll just move ahead. We have other
sure, sure, sure.
presenters, and I'm sure all these presenters, once you are through with all these participants, once you are through with all these presentations, most of your doubts will get solved. So just hang on, okay? We are not going out of the business, trust me. Okay. Thank you, Ruby, for your time and your expertise. And you can see that this is going to be a blast here today. Thank you. And I
Thank you.
invite our next speaker, and it's about Hey Siri, Hey Alexa, Hey Google is the topic of our next speaker. An experienced technical writer, Anandita likes trying out stuff. So let's see what she has experimented or tried with ChatGPT. And I'm sure another 50% of your questions will be answered by her once her presentation is through. So welcome, Anandita. We look forward for your presentation.
Thanks, Pallavi. I'll share my screen. Uh, One thing before I start sharing my presentation, it does not have any. I'll play a recorded demo because of technical. I know that OpenAI API can get bogged down because of traffic. So I recorded my demo. I'll play it. The only thing that you need to be aware of is it has no audio. It has captions. So if you hear nothing, it's intentional.
Okay.
So let
Yeah.
me share my screen. Let me mute myself, and here we go. Uh, Please let me know when you can see something, a black screen with Chat GPT written near the
Yes.
bottom.
Yes.
You
Yep.
can? Okay.
Anandita. Yeah.
I'll mute myself and just 1 second.
Yes, it's plain.
वेबसाइट बना दी।
So that was about my experiments with ChatGPT. I don't know, Pallavi, whether we can take questions now or whether we should move on to the next uh, speaker, because I'm sure a lot of questions, I'm sure actually a lot of things will be covered by our next speakers about technical content, about developer documentation. There are speakers who are going to delve into that. So, how do you want to do this? Questions now or questions later?
We can take a couple of questions, Anandita, specifically about your demo. Rather than reading it here from the chat box, if anyone has, we can take a couple. So, uh, Anyone would like to go for it? Just unmute yourself and ask Anandita.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to ask, like, for example, I mean, how is the search taking place? So, for example, we know that if we Google something, it's the metadata and all those things are there. SEO, SEOs work on that a lot, and so we get results on that. So, I mean, is GPT actually finding those information from the first few? I mean, wherever it is finding, I mean, because there can be duplicate information all around. Okay, so I mean, it is indexing. Is it indexing from the first few results, or is it indexing a number of results and then trying to find out what is can be the correct information or the most appropriate information? That is one part of my question. Another question would be that so it is.
Shall we
So why
take
don't,
it one
yeah,
by
I
one?
was
Yeah,
about
yeah.
about to say, can
Yeah.
we just take the first part and then move on to the next question? Yeah,
Okay,
please,
sure.
Anandita. Yeah.
So, to be very honest, I don't have full visibility into how the training part works. ChatGPT is an implementation. It's an implementation of something called GPT. The T there stands for transformer, by the way. Transformer. So, ChatGPT is a chat bot that is using the GPT-3 AI model to respond to your questions. So there is something called a training data. What ChatGPT uses is the Da Vinci model, Da Vinci 3 model, that has that's been trained, I mean, that's been used to train that AI model, and ChatGPT fetches data from there. The data there is up to 2021, I believe. Now here's the thing, I don't have full visibility or full knowledge about how that training works. But it's a natural language processing that the GPT, the transformer, is doing. So if we sign up for ChatGPT, we can use our own documentation to train the bot. I mean, bot and name it anything. My company's name, GPT or something. So what it can do is look at a specific set of input and use neural language models to understand that input, and spit out an answer. It can also do it in several languages, by the way. I asked these same questions in Hindi. It gave me the answers in Hindi, transliterated as well as script Devanagari. So it's not conventional SEO, is what my answer is boiling down to. But I, as of yet, do not have full knowledge about how to tokenize, I mean, like how the tokenization works, how the language model works. So, yeah, I know it doesn't
Right.
answer your question fully, but I don't have
Yeah, yeah.
full knowledge about that part.
Since yeah, since it is actually searching from the internet, so
It's searching from the internet, as in, okay, so that was incorrect phrasing on my part. It's searching from the internet. The data that has been used to train it was taken from, a part of it was taken from the internet pre 2021. There is other data also that has gone into its training. Uh, so
so that means I mean, does that mean that the entire internet content is not available for search to it?
That's a guess. I know for Watson it was. I mean, Watson was another AI tool that came before ChatGPT. I know for Watson it was the entire Wikipedia, the entire internet, but I'm not. I don't know about ChatGPT. I mean,
Okay.
the what all went into the. I know Shakespeare went into it, for example, but I don't know what else went into it. So.
Okay, so another thing would be that I mean, so it will definitely give answers to whatever information is available in the open internet arena, not I mean the sites that are I mean that the user has to log in to get the information.
So you can use the documents of those, as in if you own that site, you
Yeah.
can restrict your, chatbot's answers to stuff only in that site.
Okay.
So
Okay. So that will only fetch information from my documentation kind of.
exactly. Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your questions, and thank you, Anandita. It was great about your insights, how we can use that. Thank you for coming forward to present this. Let's move on to our, as I said, in the interest of time, I cannot take all the questions right now, but definitely we have some time for everyone to ask questions and answer them. Uh, Moving on to our next speaker, I welcome Ravi Teja, and the topic is the new Google for research. So that's where, like, our apprehensions lie. Okay, a content writer by passion and a technical writer by profession. He's looking to thrive in the field of technical documentation. So Ravi, after ChatGPT, are you again, trying to thrive that, whether I'll be here in technical documentation or not? Over to you, Ravi. Please go on. You're on mute, Ravi.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, thanks, Palvi, for the introduction. And please forgive me. This is almost my first presentation through the web, so please, if there are any disturbances, so please forgive them. So yeah, I'm going to
We already
present today.
forgiven you. We've already forgiven you.
Thank you,
Don't worry. Go
thank you.
on.
So okay, first of all, I present my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Now we are able to see your screen.
Yeah, yeah. So I've prepared a presentation on this. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're able to see the title here, right?
No, Ravi, we can only see your background, probably some orange and yellow
Is it okay? Okay.
desktop, probably. You are sharing another desktop.
If you are sharing multiple screens, better share your desktop.
I think now.
We can still say the same.
Okay. One second. I've selected desktop only, but it's not showing now. One second. I think some problem with the settings.
Yes, now we can see.
Okay. Now you're able to see, right?
Yes, yes, we are able to see. It's a Google. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So ChatGPT is as is my view. So ChatGPT is a friendly how-to for a technical writer, for technical writers. So these are the areas I'm going to cover, like refine research, search refine, and templates for process documentation and rephrasing. And after that, I'll tell about what are my observations about ChatGPT. Actually, ChatGPT helps for refining our research, uh, refining our research and vocabulary whenever we're before addressing the issues with the SMEs. When SME comes before us to come up with something else, and we don't know that vocabulary, we can take help of ChatGPT to do that. And compared to Google, ChatGPT's research is kind of refined, and where we have to go to a number of pages and and ChatGPT gives us excess of information compared to what we get in Google. Like in Google, we go to the pages, but ChatGPT itself generates a lot of information, as we saw in the previous presenter. So it needs some tailoring. As in Google, we got something like snippets, but here we don't have that. We have to tailor up ourselves. So I'll show the example for that, like what I've done. Uh, so this is the results I got. So and for your information, like I've made it a speed it up, like so that because the ChatGPT generating the data is kind of sometimes a slow. So for users convenience, I made it a bit into 2x speed. So if you want me to stop, I'll pause the video if it is too much speed. So I have searched for marketing strategies. So it brought me to like this number of points, key marketing strategies, and it has jotted down all the probably the most important points. And I have further asked questions. Yeah, this is how we get in Google. Like I'll pause the video. Wait. So this is how we get in Google. So we get some key points here like target audience, value proposition. Like there's some keywords. Looks like those are missing from ChatGPT. It has brought me directly dump of data kind of. So here in Google we have snippets kind of thing. So see, so I have searched for what is the best marketing strategy here. So this is it's like very interactive one compared to Google, but the kind of information and explanation is very bulky here in here ChatGPT. So it's like for everything it brings like an article, like starts with something and gives you whatever information you need and again concludes. And see how what we get in Google, it is what is the best marketing strategy. It will show you in a kind of snippet. If you further want that, we can click into that and go further. Yeah. So if yeah, we'll have this. If we want, we can open it as we know that already. So again, I asked ChatGPT what is the most common strategy. So it took its time for yeah, and the results are like this. So it has an ending and conclusion, beginning and conclusion for everything, like kind of writing an essay or paragraph. So here we have to open the detailed article here, but I think there's no comparison with Google and ChatGPT actually, but kind of conversational thing with ChatGPT. Yeah, this is what we get here, and this is about this slide. And one second, there's some bar coming in the middle. What? Yeah. So yeah, and the second most important point I want to discuss today is the templates, preparing templates for process documents. ChatGPT helps, like, gives you information, offers how accurate information can be added for creating formats or templates for process documents. And we can query ChatGPT about what is the process document, like what can be the ideal format, and what is the terminology we can use, and what can be the what can be the style guide for that. And so that I tried with this. So I have asked it what is the ideal template for process document. So it has, as usual, it is giving side headings and important points. What I found is that it is actually covering important aspects that I regularly face in my office, like in my regular office timings and regular office works, because this is we deal with process documents in my role as a technical writer. So it has and I have asked it for any shorter format, like is there any way to a shorter format instead of lengthy thing, but and it has also has some results for that. So process documentation, sorry if it is very speed, I'll pause it. High level process documentation, business process management, process mapping. So it has covered, actually I found it is covered very important information in this one. As I said, it adds up with something beginning and something ending, like a paragraph on like an essay. Yeah. So I have added what is the ideal way to project a process flow. So yeah, it has given me this information. It kind of tips to keep it simple, use arrows, bullets, use annotation tables, use color coding. Yes, swim lanes. Actually, the swim lanes, these are all very important terminology that we need to see in process documents. So that is covered here. Like, I'm happy for that. This is going to give a good information. So what is, I asked what is the best tool for that. So to see whether it is covering any important tools I am using or we are using outside. Yes, so Microsoft Visio, Lucid Chat, yeah, Smart Draw, and Glyphy is another one which we generally use in our office. Yeah, Glyphy is here. So I was wishing to see those names, but and those are visible, even nomenclature. Yes. So okay, so I asked it what are the templates. So sorry, it's going fast, but yeah, these are the templates for ideal process document. So basic flowchart process, swim lane, mind map, checklist, yeah, site park. Yes. So again, it's like a conversation thing. I asked it like, so can so this actually I have asked, done many experiments, so I edited it out, but accidentally it appeared here, so I'm going to forward it. Yeah, so I asked it, can you pick one best template among 6? So it's, yeah, it's saying like this, so it's hard to say. Anyhow, it gives us some kind of description of advice of something like you can use flowchart, you can use mind map. So those are two good. So in summary, you can test whatever is apt for you. And just I have added some kind of compliments to the chatbot to see how it responds because I found it valuable. So that's how it responded for my questions or for my queries. Yeah, so one more last question I asked it to it, can I club one or two process document templates? Like as it mentioned many of the templates, can I club with both or else 2 or 3 and still can it be considered as a process document? So what it says is, yeah, it is possible, but keep in mind that your output you're showing is reflecting your process. So very conversative, very wordy thing, but yeah, the results are somewhat useful for me. So what is the style? The last option actually. So what is the style guide? What are the style guide to be followed? So these are also basic things, but yeah, it has covered the take care of the language, formatting, visual elements, consistency, naming conventions, approval process, document management. Yeah. So this is about this how ChatGPT responds when you ask for process document, any templates or anything. So let me go to this presentation. Yeah. So the last one I'm going to cover is rephrasing, as our Ruby Goyal also mentioned. Is rephrasing is one of the thing with the ChatGPT. Yes, with technical writers also, we often need to rephrase some sentences, and we want to double check whether it is sounding good or not. So ChatGPT helps us in that format, and but it needs like some prompt, like when you ask for a rephrasing, the first result might not be the accurate one. It will give you a very wordy and big thing, but we have to ask for another prompt, like another question, another, can you shorten it like that? So I'll show you that. So, and just casual asked it, can you rephrase it? Yes, I can rephrase. So I mentioned one paragraph. Yeah, it is taken from our TWT website itself. So So it rephrase it like this in a paragraph. Actually, both are same, but it has concise them. And I have actually wanted a even shorter version. So I asked it, can you shorten this? Like I want more brief version, not I want to do three lines. So see, it has generated like this. It's just into 3 lines. Tech creators tribe is community. So yeah, this is so these are my observations. Like ChatGPT results are excessively elaborative. Like the content is very like dump or something. As per its algorithm, it gives you excessive information in the first step, and also the detailing is excellent. Like while capturing the content, maybe this is also subject to the topic you are searching. So I'm not saying every topic is like that in detail, but depends on the topic. And we need to give multiple inputs to get a crispier versions. As I gave in the last rephrasing thing, I should give a prompt to that. Can you shorten this? Can you brief in this? So it will give you a better input depend upon your inputs. And it has a potential to become a friendly tool for tech writers, but I think it's not the only tool that can be dependable for technical writers, but just an add-on. That's it. That also subject to how the companies adopt it, because it's going to become a plugin or something. So companies may adopt it or may not. Depends on that. Also, their security. Yeah, I was mentioning the last one that privacy and security, privacy and security here also matters here, because you're going to give some information which is technical to your company to ChatGPT. How much it is safer uh, to discuss your technical matters if the chat bot is somewhat, I think, debatable. And also, yeah, is the same thing when the follow-up questions increases to if increase the output efficiency from ChatGPT. Yeah, so that's it, my presentation. Hope I didn't confuse you all. Yeah.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you so much, Ravi.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I'm definitely you have not confused us. Why do you think you have confused us? You have answered a lot of questions here.
Yeah, I
So
wanted to put a lot of information. I mean, I have chopped off around 10 to 15 minutes of my because it been I did so many experiments, so I
yes.
just chopped it off to like, yeah.
Yeah, we can understand because there's a lot to, talk about and see what people are doing about it. But as you know, and as everyone knows that in the interest of time, we cannot just go on. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for your inputs. In the interest of time, again, I can just take a couple of questions here. Um, so I'll take the latest one. Probably Zui is asking, does it also train itself depending on the question we ask it? Example, if I search process automation, robotic process automation related information, time and again, does it improve itself depending on my inputs, or will it give the same output kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it will definitely improve. Like for initial question, it will give you a default, like a paragraph or essay. But when you refine your question is very important. Like if you give a accurate question, which triggers the answer, definitely. But it depends upon the question, the number of times you need to ask, like the reiterations, no,
Right.
increase. It depends on your question. That's it. Yeah, it will.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ravi. Again, in the interest of time, we are reserving you for the last few minutes
Thank
to
you.
answer all the questions of our participants. So I'll next call upon Tripti Arvind. Tripti, are you there? Yeah. Yes. Great. Welcome, Tripti, to this session, and thank you for volunteering to uh, give your presentation. Tripti is a UX designer turned technical writer with 13 plus years of experience in tech writing field, currently working with Teradata, and we are excited to see what you have for us, Tripti.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Over
intro,
to you,
Pallavi.
please.
So, can you hear me okay? Because I
Yes.
am on the road and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm
Oh,
taking this call. So,
oh, wonderful.
My topic for today is ChatGPT and developer documentation. So, some of these use cases came about purely based on my experience and also my interaction with the developer advocates within my company. So, today we will be exploring two use cases for ChatGPT and how we can leverage ChatGPT for developer documentation. So, as a technical writer, how can I leverage ChatGPT to create developer documents? The use case one is, can I use ChatGPT to create code samples in different programming languages? The answer is yes, yes, and yes. Um, let me give you a context. So the REST API documents that we have is mostly has code snippets in curl. And like 2 months back, me and my developer advocate, we started creating a how-to guide for the REST API. And the base for our document was a Python runbook. So both of us agreed that it would have been a better user experience if we could actually provide a consistent look and feel to the document. So it would have been better if you can give a curl command in the new document. But because of the time constraint, the developer advocate confirmed that they will not be able to convert all the Python codes to curl commands. And as a midway, we kind of agreed that we'll just put a disclaimer in the new document stating that, hey, all the examples provided in this document is in Python. Please go ahead and convert to your programming language of choice. So I thought, okay, why not use ChatGPT to convert some of these Python code commands to curl commands? And my developer advocates confirmed that it would take them a long time to actually convert these code snippets. So I thought, okay, I'm just showing you some screenshots. This is a basic um, Java command that I have converted to Python. But I'll show a demo in the end, wherein which you can see how I have used ChatGPT to convert the Python code that was already available in the runbooks to curl commands. Pallavi, shall I go on to the demo in the last after I cover the use case too, because I'll not take much time.
Yes, sure. Sure, Tripti. Please go ahead.
For the use case to learn something new. So if you are interested in learning what a piece of code does and you're new to programming language, I was trained in C++. Java is completely new to me. Some of the terminologies, um, some of the language that is used, it's completely new. If you want to learn something new, if you have a piece of code, you want to understand what that piece of code does, if you have a function that you need to document and you need to kind of come up with a template, if you're new to the whole developer documentation scene, then you can use ChatGPT to create interesting templates for your developer documentation. So I tried out a basic code. I just asked ChatGPT if it can create developer documentation, or just I asked, can you explain this particular code to me? And ChatGPT was kind of helpful in converting this piece of code to something that can be consumed by a lesser, somebody who is not well versed with this amount of code. So it converted into a simple paragraph style of writing. Then I was like, okay, this is definitely not something that I can use in the developer document. So then I refined my search and I asked ChatGPT if we can write a developer documentation. And as you can see, this is what ChatGPT gave. So it kind of gave the class, method, a purpose, input, output, exceptions, and usage. So if you want to kind of document a particular function, and if you want to try out different templates and how it will appear as output, you can just refine your say search. You can just click on regenerate, and it will create multiple templates for you to try and explore. So as demo, I'll just so these are something that I tried out yesterday as part of our talk today. So I just entered, like, convert the Python code to curl. I just entered the Python code and I got a curl command in return. And then I again input a Python piece of code. I requested ChatGPT to convert it to curl. Yes, I got a curl command, and then I inputted a Stripe. This is from Stripe. I inputted a Java piece of code, asked if it can convert to Python. I got a output command, and I verified this command, and the command came out without any errors. It also gave me a warning that I need to install the Stripe package. Also, for the second use case, can you just, I just added, like, explain this particular piece of code. It gave me a very
Tripti, sorry to interrupt. I think we are still seeing the slides, not the demo.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Let me just stop sharing and then reshare it again. Can you see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay. Start from beginning. So, okay, as I was explaining, I just inputted a Python piece of code. ChatGPT actually converted it to curl command, and I also gave a Java code, asked it to convert it to Python, and I got a output. I verified the output. The output came out without any errors. And also, here, I have asked ChatGPT to explain this piece of code for me. And initially, when I asked ChatGPT to create or explain the piece of code, this is what I got. It was highly verbose. It was written in a paragraph style. Then I asked, like, can you create a developer document of the above? Then it gave me a very big written content, and I feel that this content here is not useful for a seasoned developer, because some of the content here, like input output, might be useful, but like how to run the program might not be useful for a seasoned writer. So each time I try to regenerate, a different template will be created, and you can actually pick and choose the template that you want to kind of use for your developer documentation. So these are the two use cases that I tried out, and I have a few words of caution here. So always verify, ensure that the code that is generated by ChatGPT, verify it with a developer, or at least run it by yourself to ensure that there are no errors. And the second one is, do not input proprietary algorithms or code snippets into ChatGPT. So if your code is behind a firewall, if you're not supposed to kind of enter this code into any websites, please don't do that. Please don't input your proprietary algorithms or code snippets into ChatGPT. So these are the two words of caution that I have, and so that's it from my end. Any questions?
That was really very informative.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful, Tripti. Um, I think now I can be better with the codes and the languages. I'm trying to learn from quite some time now. Uh, Great.
I have a question. Uh,
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Tripti. I'm Tamanna this side from Noida, and
Okay.
I
Hi.
work in Intera Systems. So I would like to ask, like, can ChatGPT work like a chatbot? Can we integrate in our help itself and feed it with our questions?
Uh,
Maybe.
so I am not sure, uh, about that, Tamanna, because as per our company policy, we do have like an integrated chatbot that is already available. So I'm not sure like what is the process of actually integrating ChatGPT into our application, or how you can train ChatGPT to just focus on your doc set and create a complex documentation based on that.
Yeah, actually, I have heard about ChatGPT and I have read about it somewhere. So it has the integration option, but I'm not sure it works globally or just the locally over the document only. Like we can feed questions and then we can get answers, or any customer, if using our help, can ask questions to through that chatbot. So
So
that's why I ask it.
Tamanna, I guess Anandita answered this in her after her session's question
Uh,
answer that
Uh,
it can be
Uh,
used, right?
I can add to that actually, Tamanna. So what you
yeah.
can do is you can use your own training. I mean, you can use your own docs to train ChatGPT. You can't give questions because the model that ChatGPT uses is the Da Vinci model that is unsupervised. I mean, it will learn on its own. It uses natural language processing to learn on its own. So just like you can't have, it's untagged. I mean, like you don't use tags and labels like you would for an other chat solutions that are out there at the moment. It's
Okay.
unsupervised learning, but you can use. I mean, that's why you will sign up for it. No, you use your own documentation, train it. It will use only that part of. I mean, like only that material and give answers.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, I can add on to this. Like it's just like the way we read the textbooks or notes and write the exam. Similar way it writes for our
Hmm.
questions.
Perfect. A perfect. I mean, like
Okay.
that's a perfect
Yeah,
example. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Thank you so
nothing like
much.
we need to
I got.
train. It learns on its own. It's just a raw data which
Yeah.
is dumped into ChatGPT and it gets the answer out of it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Awesome. Wow, wonderful. I'm loving this. And I am so grateful I didn't waste my time, going through ChatGPT all these days because I knew this was coming up, this session was coming up. Great. I'm learning a lot. Thank you, Tripti, for this wonderful session. And over to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Puneet Srivastava. Most of you all know him. Some of you who don't know him, he has almost 20 years of experience in technical writing. And here he is, also the co-founder of Tech Writers Tribe. Okay, so he wants to share how grammar and interviews go for technical writers and ChatGPT. Over to you, Puneet. Unmute, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you see the chat GPT screen?
yes.
Okay, that's what I'm going to share. Okay. Thank you, Pallavi, for introducing. And overall, I'm seeing it's going great with different people talking about different things. So I just thought, okay, let's not get very technical here and let's keep it simple. So keep it simple means as a technical writer, there are a few scares that we are already seeing in the questions, and we have already received questions before also, what about my job and all that we will certainly probably talk during the group discussion. But let's talk about the technical writing field. So in technical writing field, there are, if we can divide, there are multiple persons. But first, let's start with people who want to join technical writing, how ChatGPT can help them. Second category, people who are already technical writers, how ChatGPT can help. And of course, there are different other things with which ChatGPT can help. I hope by the first four presentations to whom it wasn't clear, it's pretty clear what ChatGPT is. Okay, you ask questions, it provides answers. If you have a good skill of asking questions, it provides good answers. If your questions are not clear, it will not provide you clear answer. So how it will work, a lot depends on your ability too. So probably you can if you don't have that polished skill, you can try to polish your skill of asking questions. But in ChatGPT, as a technical writer or as someone who want to become technical writer, I would rather look at the positive side here. As far as the job security and all other scares are concerned, at least I never believe in that. For technical writing, like Pallavi just mentioned, I have almost 20 years of experience. So you can see people like me have seen different phases of technical writing. Every time something came up and there were rumors, there were gossips, forget about what dev says, what product manager says, okay? They always say your job is in danger, but still your number is increasing. Your role is increasing. Earlier, you were just doing user guides. Now you are grabbing the job of what developers were doing, what product managers were doing. Wherever writing is involved, you are getting there. Wherever haven't got to, you will get there. So just bother about upskilling. Don't bother about ChatGPT or any other tool. It's a very helpful tool for everybody and of course for technical writers. So let's start with how somebody who wants to get into technical writing, how they will get help from it. Think about a scenario when if all of you here who are already technical writer, and probably some are here who are not technical writer. So those who are already a technical writer, when you wanted to become a technical writer, what did you do? Of course, this role, this department of technical documentation, you might not have heard in your colleges and wherever you came from. Suddenly, somewhere you heard about this field and you knew that, okay, I have the art of writing good in English. I have some good control over English. Even if I'm not from engineering background, I have good control over English. So let's try this field. So some way or other, you got information about it, and then think about how you got the information. Some peers, some friends, or somebody. But now Google already simplified it. You type what is technical writing there, what is technical documentation, and you will see a lot of answers. But as some of you, I think Anindita especially, showed how the search in Google and how search in ChatGPT is different. So this is all about providing direct answers. So I could have done basically the search right here, but just in case to save time. So say for example, I want to know what is technical writing. I simply ask the question which is there in my mind. How the data comes here, already people have spoken about, so I won't repeat. It provides me some answer. Probably I am convinced by it, and probably I am not 100% convinced. And the third scenario is I'm convinced, but I need more details. I need to relate it with my personal background. We often get this question, we run this technical writing certificate course. So of course, different kind of background. We meet people like people from science, engineering, different other fields, homemakers. Everybody has one common question. They name their background and then they say, can I become a technical writer? So the same thing you come here and ask. Probably like I have asked the second question here. If you can see the screen, I'm a graduate in history. Can I become a technical writer? You can go ahead and figure out whatever be your backgrounds. Just simply type like that. Just try to be clear with your question. It will provide some answer. I'm not saying all the time answers will be convincing because it gathers data from different sources which are already existing. So at times it may not be up to your expectation, but 90% of the times it meets the expectation, which I believe in today's world, if you compare it with whatever tools you know, it's pretty good. So information, information, information. Yes, it is a huge source of information. The only care you need to take is, first, you need to ask the right questions. You should know what you want to know. And second, don't try to blindly believe it. Use your common sense. So this way, first, I feel for people who are interested not only in technical writing, but any other field, it will provide the same kind of answers. Second, if I am already a technical writer of whatever level, I am working as a single resource in some company. Probably there is some task approaching on which I haven't worked before. I want to find the information, general information, how to go ahead with it and all. So say if I want to say I have a product user guide, but I have never created that. Okay. So I will simply go ahead and I will ask the question. It will give me some pointers. Based on my knowledge, I can very well judge whether the pointers are apt, or say here it's providing 8 points of do I agree to all those? Maybe if I agree, fair enough. Now I further want to find out that whatever it is providing, is that good enough? So maybe one of those points I can pick and I can go ahead and ask different other questions. And so this way, whatever information, again, it's a source of information. So general information it will provide. If you want practical information, of course, if it's present on the web, it may provide, but otherwise, remember, for practical information, you will have to go to the real people. And that brings me to another point that I wanted to say before I forget. This is providing some kind of information, and if it is putting you in putting this thought in your mind that my job is in danger, see, it is providing all the written content, but then that written content has to be thought over and then written. Somebody writes it, but as you all know, as a technical writer, your output is what you write or the content that you generate. But is writing the only part you do? I assume the main part of a technical writer is the thinking part. The way you think is different from the way people in other roles think. That's why you are a technical writer, they are not. Because if you just talk about English, I'm sure you all will agree, forget about US and Europe, even in India, majority of the people know English. So, but everybody is not a technical writer. So it's your thinking part. This thinking part, ChatGPT or any tool is not doing. That you are doing and how you are adding that to provide content and help your company, that defines your value. Okay, now moving forward, further ahead. So I'm a technical writer and I want to serve content, that is fine. You can go ahead and practice your own use case. I want to appear for interviews. I want to appear for interviews. What do I do? I don't know, from where to start. Probably I will come here and try to see if ChatGPT can help me. I just shared one general question, very generic question. It provided me some generic answers. Again, out of these questions, if I think any of these are suitable, I will just copy that and again paste it in the question box. I will ask, okay, give me some examples. It will go ahead and give me examples for that. So yes, like for interview preparation also, it can come handy. And why is it coming handy? Thanks to millions of articles and other things present on the web. It's getting data from there. Now, as a person, if you just want, even if you are in TWT, WhatsApp group or Telegram group or on LinkedIn or any other forum, from one forum, all the data you cannot gather. That's not practically possible. Here it helps you. So that's why I consider it very helpful. Even in interviews, for example, I want to go further deep. Somebody has asked the question how to ask the right kind of question. So yes, one way is like I have written in a very layman's language, help me with interview questions for technical writer. But tomorrow what's happening that I am going to attend an interview and I know that the person who is going to ask me questions, who is going to interview, is probably a documentation manager? I will try to rephrase that question in this way so that I can get some answers which generally technical documentation managers ask. I will write it like this. I will request ChatGPT to act like a technical documentation manager of some company based in Bangalore, India, US, wherever. And I will tell who am I? I'm applying as a senior technical writer. I just want 3 questions, most important questions. I will ask that directly. And then it comes up with some answers. Okay, so this is for general documentation. If I'm going for API documentation, the same way. Now here you see, this is a thread. Here I have already introduced myself. So in the second question, in this thread especially, I don't need to repeat my identity or the details that I have already provided before. So like an interaction, it keeps on gathering data and it keeps on talking to you. So now I ask for API documentation writer. It again gives me some answers. So yes, to this you may agree or disagree. I'm not saying all of you will agree to it every time, but yes, it provides multiple options. A bit of common sense is required. And I assume it's nothing about ChatGPT only. Even if you're using Google search, there I will say a lot of common sense is required. Here, a bit of common sense is required. So now, next level, I crossed the technical documentation manager's interview. Now the next level, some VP or something. So I again go back and I again ask the same kind of question. Act as a vice president. I want ChatGPT to act as a vice president of some company. And then I say, okay, now I'm applying for manager. I have already gone through that senior technical writer position. Give me some important questions. Now, as you can see, probably each of these answers are not so applicable, but probably others are. So I got curious when it gave me the answer, can you describe a particularly challenging project? And I was like, how do I, in my life, since anybody who reaches till the level of managers must be having like 5 years or 10 years of experience minimum. So they must have so many challenging projects. So I'm confused what exactly to talk about. I can't talk about my whole, profile history. So I further pick that same question and I ask, okay, for this pointer, what's the best answer? So it provides me some pointers. Okay. And it provides me some pointers. At least I find it useful. I'm not sure about you all. But in the same way, the crux is the more you refine your search, like Ravi has mentioned in his presentation, the more refined your search is. So you should know the art and the better the result could be. Then I was just closing this and I got curious. Often we get this question and we get this debate also often that in your interviews, often the interviewers will ask at the end, do you have any questions for us? And this is a point of debate. Some people ask questions, some people don't. I thought, okay, let's ask this. Do you have any questions for us? Now let's see this. This is a thread going on, right? I have introduced myself, who I am. So I don't need to repeat who I am. I simply type, do you have any questions for us? Which question shall I ask? And it gives me some suggestions. Okay. So if I'm doing these kind of using ChatGPT for such kind of help where I want to enhance my knowledge, and of course, I'm not saying that I am depending completely on it. Okay. So, but still it gives me a lot of pointers, and based on my common sense and based on my understanding, I can probably find, make some use of it. So certainly, even for senior technical writers, in general, for interviews, and for any other aspect, wherever you need general information, as long as you're not talking about some internal information which is hidden in your company, any information which you think can be global and it is available publicly, it will certainly find you the information. One question that we have received before, and I think in the chat also somebody has asked for some others. What about the plagiarism kind of thing? How do you find it? Okay, it provides you the answers, and certainly since it brings data or collates information from different other sources, so although it restructures and writes it like this, but yeah, some content you will need to check in. First of all, as a technical writer, maybe as a content writer, you might reuse it as is. As a technical writer, you can never use it. You cannot just copy and paste it in your document, number one. Number two, even if you want to check, there are many tools. Content writers must be aware because they always do that. They do this plagiarism check. If technical writers are not aware, there are tools in the market. Take this content to that tool and find out. And it will show 95% free, 5% plagiarized or whatever. So based on that, you can have a clarity, okay, whether to use this or not to use this. So these two parts about the general stuff. Now I just, since technical writer we are, so I will just like to add one thing where I figured out. I thought, okay, let's talk about grammar. We technical writers take a lot of pride, right, in that. Okay, grammar, what are we doing, and also grammar. So I just asked some questions to it about grammar. Okay, so first I said, what is technical writing English? It told me, so technical writing English is one of our modules. So it told me something. Then I asked grammar, what kind of grammar is used in technical writing for software? So see the answers and let me know if you disagree with any of these pointers. At least I don't disagree. So if you disagree, I will be happy to talk about it. Then I further dug in and then I said, okay, examples of American English in technical writing, because in general technical writing, we know it's more of American English. So it gave me some examples. Because I asked for examples, it gave me some examples. Then I thought, okay, what's the general issues with technical writing English which generally people face? So I asked about the common errors. It provided me some common errors, terminology, and different kind of things. And then I said, okay, this thing, can I make a video? So give me a video script. So it is not giving a video, but as you can see, narrator, error, what the narrator will say, it is providing me a video script. I can simply use this content as long as if I want to, proofread and edit, I can certainly do that. And then I can go to some video making tool and use the same thing. And these days with AIs and all, you can get everything. Without you actually getting in the video, you can get all this content, audio, video, everything you get. Okay, so now the last point which I want to mention, where to be careful. Here, I just asked about some common mistakes in grammar usage in technical documentation. So it provided me some examples, and in these examples, I thought that probably there is something which it failed to identify. Okay, so I asked further examples of wrong article usage. It again gave me some answers about article usage in technical documentation. Then here I come to subject verb disagreement, where I want to show you a small pointer. Of course, as I said, I'm not 100% believing it all the time, so I have to keep my eyes open. So for example, subject verb agreement, it provides me this example. The instructions for installing the software are simple and easy to follow, but the process takes a long time. This is a sentence, and then it goes on to say this sentence is wrong. As per it, but the process take a long time. This is something I posted in the group. When I discovered this, I posted in the group also. So now you decide. Does anybody think the suggestion here is correct? This one? All gone? Or somebody is still listening? Okay, so in the interest of time, I won't wait for the. So technically, I feel the suggestion it provided is wrong because it's process. But what it's doing, it's a long sentence, so it's still identifying instructions as the subject. It's not identifying process as the subject. So things like that, at times you will find some issues with the articles in the sentences and other things. So all I'm saying is, yes, there are issues with it, but use it, for your information gathering purpose. And of course, you can use it to help your technical documentation skill also, help your project management skill also. A lot of things are there where you can help use it. But yes, don't trust it blindly. And I'm sure you don't trust your friends, your spouses also blindly, right? So there is no reason for for you to trust this also blindly. So with that, that's what I would like to say, that okay, this is a very good tool to use, but use with caution. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Puneet. That was also wonderful. And so what I summarize is ChatGPT cannot take over technical writers. You have to use ChatGPT to your benefit. Okay. And yeah, so time for open forum. Let's take some questions. First, I will come with other type of questions, and that is, does ChatGPT give response with images? We have other people who also asked whether it's like you can get flowcharts or PPT templates or anything like that. Anybody would like to answer, or though the answer is there in the chat, but still, I would like anyone to just unmute themselves and tell that what kind of response does a ChatGPT give?
This is an open question, right? Yeah, Ravi is.
Okay, Ravi. Yes, please.
Yeah, you're asking about whether ChatGPT does create flowchart templates, or right?
Yes. Does
Yeah,
it, if you
yeah.
say that I want images, then does it give responses in images or flowcharts or anything like that?
I don't think ChatGPT has responses in image. It gives only the step by step. It's only if I mean I found that ChatGPT's main strength is giving step by step procedure for whatever. Like even if it's a flow chart, it will give you in a description that okay, go to A, B step, go to C, like that. It will give you step by step procedure, but I don't think it has have any images kind of responses.
Great. So you mean to say it's only text based.
Yep.
So great.
I would like to actually, Manoj had a comment in the chat about how he had fed in some data code and that was good. I mean, like the code was valid. So sometimes you can actually create flowcharts through code, na? UML diagrams or data syntax diagrams. Probably you can, I mean, this is just a guess on my part, but probably you can train ChatGPT to, generate images based on the coding syntax of images.
Oh,
Like
okay.
mermaid diagrams. I
Wonderful.
mean, like if I'm giving a mermaid code to it, it should be able to generate it's mermaid JS. No, JavaScript it can understand anyway,
Mhm.
for example. So probably it can be done, is what I'm guessing at this point of time. We'll have to
Wonderful.
delve deeper.
Yeah. Manoj, you have your hand raised. Yes, please go. Please unmute yourself, and you'd like to say something, Manoj? You are on mute if you're saying something.
One second.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's like I tried asking for a downloadable link. That is also not possible. It won't give you any downloadable links for any of the software like Google,
Okay.
how it gives.
Mhm.
And like as Anindita said, yes, it might be possible to get a code to generate the whatever flowchart is. So I was just trying to ask something related to that. So if I find anything, I'll share what I
Great.
found. Yeah.
Great. Our next question in the chat is, does it repurpose content, or we can or give the same definition? So again and again, if you put the same question, I'm combining 2, 3 questions together. So again and again, if you put the same questions, does it give the same content, same response, or does it give different answers Anybody would like to answer that?
Yeah, the Ravi here again. Actually, yes, like the question needs to be changed. At least you need regenerate. I think even the regenerating thing also gives you the same answer. So the better you refine your question, the better answer you get. Even if you have any, as I showed in my presentation, if you feel the answer is too long, you can ask, can you shorten this? Can you brief this up? So it will decrease the content size. So the more we question, see, it's like Google search only, like we go to the next pages, right? So here instead of that we'll give short and different questions, so it will refine as per our questions. Yeah.
Just to
Wonderful.
add to what Ravi has
Anybody
said,
else would like to answer this?
yeah, so to answer to not to answer, but what Ravi has said is the only truth. I will say, like we showed you the screens, how it works, right? Just think of Chat GPT as a person. How will you ask question? If you are talking to me or any friend, or how will you, if you have not understood, if you think your question hasn't been answered, you will, like here Ravi said, shorten it,
Yeah.
refine it, do
So
that.
extending the same question, I put in the same question with the same wordings, and someone else does. So will that response be different for different people, or will it be same for all the different people entering the same question? Anybody has? This is one of the questions, so I'm just asking.
I feel it's based upon the strings. If you are in one text string, like I was showing that once I have introduced myself, I asked question one, it provided some answer. Then I again in the same series, I asked another question. So it's identifying the use case. So probably it may differ based on that. That's just an that's just a guess. Yeah.
Okay, Akash, would you like to answer rather than chat putting it here in
Typing
the
out.
chat? Yes.
Guys, come on, videos. We are just
Pallavi, this
closing.
is Tripti here.
Yes,
So what
Tripti.
I experienced was I tried creating a developer documentation, and yesterday I tried using the same code. I tried creating a developer documentation. I got an output that I was almost happy about. And today, when I tried the same code with the same sentence, it gave me a completely different answer altogether. And each time I was regenerating it, it was not giving the answer that it gave yesterday. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I was not at all happy with the answers that it gave today. So each time you regenerate, it actually gives you a fresh template, at least for developer documentation or code-based documentation, gives you a fresh template. Then you can try out like what is the best suited one for your business and for your use case. That's what I experienced.
Oh, oh, that's a good insight. Thank you so much, Tripti. Rajashekhar, would you like to say something?
Suppose sometimes we write a content and we want to write it in a different way, and is there any chance like if we can compare those two type of the content is same but we are trying to project the content in two different ways, so the chat gpt can help us like which one is better, and it can improvise it, such type of content, is it possible?
There was a use
So I
case which
guess just now Tripti answered this, that every
okay.
time she logged in with different sessions, she got different answers. So probably you can go with this. Yeah, anybody would like
In
to?
addition, I will say there was a use case which I did not show. Next week
Mhm.
we are having a session on conversational writing. So I just asked Chat GPT what is the difference between conversational writing and technical writing, and then I went ahead and asked, give me an example. So it provided me same paragraph, how it will be written in conversational and how it will be written in technical writing. So I believe yes, it can do that.
Wonderful. So that was Rajshekhar, I believe. Balaji, you want to say something? So once you are done
Yeah,
asking the
whatever.
question, please lower your hand so that I'm not confused who's answered and who's not. Okay. Yes, please, Balaji.
Yeah, whatever I meant to say, someone has already said. But yes,
Okay.
answering to the question that I have asked, like whether it will give a same answer, yes, it will give a same answer. And if you are asking in the same chat, based on the previous questions that you ask, based on the responses that your chatbot provides, based on that it will give you answers. It will be the same kind of answers, but if but the same question if you ask in a new chat, it will be a different answer. That
Right. Okay.
Agree. Yeah.
Yes, Akash.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes, Akash.
Yeah. For me, it's my experience mostly was the more detailed and specific is what you get mostly close answers, what you're expecting. And to add to others is you can also look at it as a brainstorming tool. So if you give it a situation and a use case, and it's like a one man brainstorming. So chat gpt just acts as other people who can suggest ideas, and of course you can curate them as required. So that reduces the time, not that of course you can do it, but it efficiently gives ideas where you can add into it or improvise them. So yeah.
Thank you. Next question. What all tools and applications will it replace? Do you think it will replace any of our? I presume that these tools you're asking about are documentation tools. So I'll take it as documentation tools. So anybody would like to answer whether uh, it will, all tools and application will it replace? Any tool or application will replace? Any?
I don't think it will
Hi,
replace any
this
addition.
Okay. Great. Yes, Ruby?
Yes, I was saying that I don't think it would replace any documentation tool or any other tool we are using currently in the organization, because again, it's another form of getting information or getting responses. So you are not storing anything, you are not, documenting anything, or you're not like maintaining any flow charts or flow of information. No two people can use it simultaneously. So, it's a person to person game. So I'm using it on my laptop, another person uses, so you can't connect it, two-person can't use it simultaneously. So I don't think it can replace that. And secondly, there has been a burst of AI tools uh, lately for creating images to videos to any form of art. So it's not only technical writers or writers per se getting affected. It's uh, anyone who has been in the creative industry, so they can get affected.
Great. And Lingaraj also says in the chat that it may replace Grammarly. Do you think? Anybody thinks that it may replace Grammarly or Acrolinks?
No, probably not, because they have a different set of use case, and they are more focused to what they're supposed to do. So I
And
don't know.
focused on company style guide as well, right? Once you acquire Acrolinks license, you can just what do you say, program it to use in your way, in your company style guide. I don't know, probably. Okay,
As
great.
far
And
based on Pallavi, based on the some mistakes that I saw in Chat GPT, I saw article related mistakes. One mistake I already pointed out. If you dig in further, try with grammar. Anybody who is bothered about Grammarly and Acrolinks getting replaced. Right now, I don't think it's up to that level. In future, I don't know how it's going to do. But right now, you cannot certainly trust it for grammar and other things. For information, yes, I will trust it. But how to present it, I will not trust it.
okay, thank you, Puneet. And I think we have covered all the questions either in the sessions or now in the open forum. What I can see, the last question coming up and asked by multiple people is, ultimately, will it aid or replace the technical writer? Okay. Yes. Before that, Rajshekhar has a question. So, Rajshekhar, would like to ask a question?
Yeah, can it perform plagiarism, such type of thing?
Yes. Okay. So, how about, though Puneet had taken this in his session, but plagiarism? Can you think that plagiarism would be, how it would affect?
You will have to use a tool. this will not provide you whether it's plagiarism free or not, because it is automatically bringing content from different sources. Okay, it's just bringing content from it. If you want to reuse that content as is, then you need to go to a specific tool which checks for plagiarism.
Because it reads the content before 2021. Means if all the content it has adapted to it, then there might be a possibility of checking the plagiarism. So I thought like it is a possibility of plagiarism checking.
No, that for that so far the even what I tested, I will say, and even based on the news and everything, you cannot trust it for that. For that, you will have to go to a specific tool which checks for it. Yes, you can copy the content from it and paste it there.
It doesn't produce any unique content. If you are asking, it doesn't produce any unique content of its own. So it's all the content that has already been there on the net. So it just rephrases it according to your question.
Okay. Radhika, you'd like to say something?
Yeah, thank you, thank you. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm have to add some point here regarding plagiarism. Actually, I checked content. I have took some contents for writing, so that time I checked the plagiarism as well. Uh, that time it shows plagiarism errors in the Grammarly free tool. So it's not possible like unique. Always it will be unique.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. So now I guess coming to our question. Ultimately, are we in business or we are out of business? Tech writers, what do you think?
It's posing a challenge.
We are here
Certainly.
to stay or we are going?
It's posing a challenge, certain. Okay. Right now, in some companies, people did not know about technical writers. They hired a technical writer, and whether that technical writer was having 1 year experience or 10-year experience, they listened to that technical writer blindly. Now they have access to information, that is ChatGPT. Okay. So unless your information provided is adding value more than that, that will basically decide. So your knowledge level has to go up now. Average information with just average knowledge, it will be going to be a challenge.
Yeah, more thoughts?
Pallavi, I would like to add something.
Yes,
So,
Tripti.
for certain companies, there are customers who are very much worried about security, especially banking customers. They're very much worried about their security, ensure that their data is not leaked. So we have customers who are still on-prem just because they're scared to migrate to cloud. So when you have customers like that, there will be definitely apprehension over an AI tool having so much of knowledge and taking over. So there would be customers out there who would insist on not having any client-specific documentation that is being written by ChatGPT because security is a major concern for a lot of companies. So unless and otherwise there is an audit that is being done, there is a certification that is being done that ChatGPT is completely safe. But I don't think that people would be ready. Um, so unless because we have skeptics out there, so I think we'll be still in business because people have not warmed up to the idea of an AI handling their secure documentation.
Very valid point about the security
And
as well. Vidhi, you would like to say something? You had your
so
hand raised.
So yeah, hi guys. So I just wanted to add this thing because this is my perspective of like why we cannot be out of the business because for even using that AI, that is Chat GPT, you will need right minds to use it, right? So yeah, and here we come in this picture because if you can ask we are the right people who can ask the right questions, And as Puneet mentioned, that if you want to get an information about a product which is not even in the out in the I mean in the world, so you need to go to the physically people and to ask questions to people physically. So yeah, this is something which I feel is my perspective. So we will be always there, and we are not going anywhere.
Yoo-hoo, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, Zui, you would like to say something?
Pallavi. So I need to add a few points, Pallavi, like
Yes.
Manoj
Yes,
this side.
Manoj.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, for example, nowadays the increasing demand of writers is not only because of people who cannot write, like the developers can write, but the only thing is they don't have time to spend on documentation. So, for example, in my project, it's like 15 days once there will be a delivery of the product. So they don't have time to develop or do some unit testing on what they have written. So that is the main reason the writers come into picture. And not only like people cannot write or understand the whatever specification or whatever standards they are using, and even developers can go through the standards and they can write. So
I
it is
am
not
a
so.
bit, I
Manoj,
bit
you have got
disagree.
this room full of enemies now.
No. Yeah. See, I'm not telling that every developer can write, but
No, no.
there
Okay,
will be some people.
taking your point, what you are concluding is developer can write. Nobody is disagreeing to it.
Yeah.
As like I also said, 90% of Indian population also probably knows English. How
Yes.
you are writing it, how you are presenting it, that's what matter. You write anything, but somebody needs to understand it also, right?
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Like, that was not my point. The main intention was like they'll not
No,
have
that's why.
and the
No,
fear.
your point is
Yeah.
Okay,
valid.
okay. Peace. We have
Peace.
time.
Okay, go ahead. We are
Yeah.
already
Okay.
5 minutes late. Just five
Yes,
minutes.
Zui wanted to say. Mugdha also has her hand raised.
Okay, last 2 points from Joey and Mukta. We are already 5 minutes gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, still, it cannot replace tech writers, I feel, because of what I have very limited knowledge in this AI, but of whatever I've read, it is still lacking the ability to develop concepts. So, until it starts conceptualizing for humans, I think we are good to go, and I think we are not replaceable yet, for sure.
Of course. Great, Mugdha.
So we've been saying that developers who understand English well or are fluent in English can write, but they have never done that because their focus is on technology and developing technology. Our focus is expected to be on users and how users use that technology. So if you know what your focus should be, then you're safe. If you don't know what your focus should be, you won't know which skills to develop, which skills to be to outsource to AI and other people. I'm not just saying to AI, but also to other people. Like for example, there is a lot of reference information that you can automate and make sure that your engineering team is responsible for that reference information and that accuracy. You don't have to get into it because you are not adding any value there. So as long as you know where you can add value, you're safe. If you don't know that, then yes, that's something that you need to think about your own skills. So it's not about AI or other humans, it's about you finally.
Perfect. That sums entirely, and rather this should be the closing statement which the lawyers make, right? This is my closing statement, and now it's about you. I think you should have been the last one to say this, the closing statement. But I have to give Rohini also a chance. Rohini, you'd like to say something? Thank you,
Yes.
Mukta, for that closing statement.
Thank you, Pallavi. And I think I agree with all the valid points everybody raised, and they all say one thing, that we are important in the whole development life cycle. What I want to add more is we are actually training on the data that is available,
and the data when we start recycling as we go, because all of us, I think, at one point or the other, will go to chat GPT and try to figure out some information which is going to be generated from what is there already. The more we are going to add to the stale information is where the key point is. So once we stop generating new content, as in when there is a new product or when there is a new thing that is coming into the market, there's somebody who needs to write it, right? ChatGPT is
Yes,
not going to write on its
absolutely.
own. So the more
Perfectly.
stale information, if we want to use, then we are going to go out of job. And the more we think about creating content that is going to develop the technology as well as the software industry as a whole, I think we are going to be in business. It's not just for, I think, writers, it's also valid for the developers and everybody who's going to use these AI tools. And
Great.
from what I know, from what I saw Anandita, sorry, Anindita explaining, I think the data that is being used so far is from Google, maybe because that's the biggest search engine that doesn't leave anything out in the internet that it cannot lay hands on. I think mm, Google itself is going to come up with its own chat GPT kind of an AI, which is going to throw OpenAI out of business, maybe. Just thinking. So, in that case, I think um, we cannot rely, says that chat GPT is it. I think there's something more coming. So
Yeah,
there
right.
is going to be a change always, and there is going to be requirements based on that, and therefore we just evolve as content creators, and I don't think we need to fear. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for that. That again, new content. We give. We
Right.
have to create new content. Actually, right? Great. That was another great insight. Thank you, Rohini, for your inputs.
Thank
And
you.
again, in the interest of time, but we have lots of our Telegram group and we have WhatsApp groups. Please keep discussing in that. And before going, just a food for thought. There are so many courses, online courses, Udemy, Coursera, this, that, people going online, YouTube, you have tutorials, everything. Did you stop sending your child to a school? Food for thought. Okay, so another one. You have Google search. Did all of you stop still reading the books? Right. You have Kindle, but you still go to a crossword, gift a book, right? Why? So we are here to stay. All the best. Have a good weekend. Bye bye, everyone.
Hi Pallavi, just one second.
Yes,
I have
Ranjit.
a request actually. This is Ranjit from Noida again.
Uh-huh.
So as Ruby said in her presentation that she has a lot of experience